How's it going, YouTube? In this video I'm going to show you how to install a single point sling mount on your AR15. I've already got one installed, so basically I'm just going to take mine apart and put it back together again, but you'll see how to install it along the way. So first things first, let's check the weapon. We are empty. Oops, sorry for hitting the camera there. Okay. First things first. Let's separate the upper and lower. Okay. We can just put the upper to the side. We're not going to need it. Well, until we're ready to put the weapon back together. Okay. Let me readjust this tripod. Okay. Let's go ahead and take the buttstock off. To do this, you're going to just simply, rather than push this in, you're going to pull this all the way like that, and it just slides right off like that. There you have it, just a buffer tube. And the piece we're going to be changing is this right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and remove the buffer spring. To do this, you're going to depress this little notch out right here, and be careful, it's spring loaded, and so is the buffer. So keep your thumb on it whenever you press this down. You might want to use a little tool where you can just try and get your finger in there. I'll tell you what, flathead will work good. Hold the buffer in, push down this little notch, you see that? Okay, see, you can take the buffer spring out, set it to the side. You obviously don't want to lose that. I reckon it would be kind of hard to lose that giant spring, but regardless. Okay, now, next part, you're going to want to remove this nut right here, and to do that you're going to need a buffer tube wrench. For the love of God, don't buy one of these. This thing is almost useless. Mine, I had to take it to a gunsmith, and he loosened mine up with a punch and a hammer. That's the only way I was able to get mine off. But now it's broke. The seal's broken enough, and it's loose enough that I can use this. But for the love of God, just buy yourself a nice wrench like one of these. Okay, so anyway, I am hoping this thing is loose enough that I can maybe get loosen it up a little bit to get the buffer tube off and everything. So let's see, let me make sure I'm turning it the right way. Okay. Well, with this little one, I'm just going to put it in the groove and get a grip on it and turn it. And this is a lot easier if you have one of those nicer wrenches I just showed you. This is going to be difficult, so bear with me. There we go. Got it. See, luckily mine was loose enough that I was able to break it free. Okay, when you break this nut free, what you're going to do is there's a spring in this base plate right here behind it. So that thing, it'll jettison out if you're not careful. So hold this with your thumb while you unscrew the nut a little bit, and then you can twist the buffer tube out. And what you're going to need to depress this little notch again. This is one of those times when it would help to have a extra set of hands. Let me think about how I'm going to attempt this. Okay, let me try with the screwdriver again. I'm going to depress this little notch. Okay, there we go. And try not to damage your spring like I'm doing right here. That's not good for it. Well, I'm too late. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. You see it popped out on the side there. So twist off this barrel nut a little more, and I can go ahead and unscrew the buffer tube. And as you can see, once you get it out so far, this notch you've been holding down pops up. It's spring loaded, so you can set this little thing to the side. Don't lose it, for the love of God. And you can take out your little spring, which you also do not want to lose. You see where that sits, right in this little hole? Okay. And you can remove your baseplate spring too. It's longer and skinnier. I'm going to place it beside the other one. Well, it's only a tad bit longer actually. You can see them here. This is to hold the notch thingy-majigger in, and this is the little baseplate spring. Okay. Now you're just going to remove your buffer tube. Just keep unscrewing it. And you're simply going to slide off your base plate and reinstall the new one. Just slide the new one back on. And obviously I'm already got mine on, so I'm just going to leave the same one I had on. Okay, now we're ready for reinstallation. And this could get a little tricky. It would help to have, another set of hands right now. It would really help a lot. Basically, we're going to start off by twisting the buffer tube in a little bit. Go ahead and twist it in so it's about just before it starts to cover the hole that notch sits in. You see? This would help if I had a flashlight. Here we go. You see that little hole? You want to twist the buffer tube and just close enough so you can still drop that notch thing in there. Okay, before we get too far, let's go ahead and reinstall the base plate spring. You're simply going to drop it in this little bitty hole right here. Drop it all the way in. You're going to line your base plate up and push it down. Don't bend that spring. Okay, once you have it down, go ahead and tighten up the buffer tube nut here. Don't tighten it, too far. Just tight enough so that doesn't happen. Let me push this spring back down. There we go. That worked well, just with a flat head. Okay. Get that semi-tight. And now we're going to go ahead and drop the little, whatever this thing is, and the spring in the hole. Press this down in there. And then, well, you see I done lost my spring. Popped out. Let me look for that. Okay, we're back in action. I found my spring. It's kind of funny, I had to go back and rewatch the recording to find out where it shot out at. And it ended up shooting off into my closet somehow. But, found it. So let's take two on that. Okay, let's see. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this spring first, because this one is a lot less apt to fly off in random directions. So I'm going to push it down and twist the buffer tube. I need to loosen up this nut. Okay. Okay. You see it's notched up right there. Call that notch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen up the buffer tube nut a good bit, so I have enough room to jam that spring in there. And hopefully not lose it this time. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Got it in there. And I'm going to push it down and tighten the hell out of this buffer tube nut so that does not happen again. There we go. Okay. And now, since there is a little bit of give, we are going to just kind of eye it and make sure it lines up nice and straight with your handle. See it? And we're going to tighten it. Once you got it pretty well hand tightened, go ahead and give it a good tug with your wrench. And you're going to try and keep the tube from moving too much, because you don't want to get it misaligned. Oops. There we go. Good and tight. Okay, so let's slam our buffer and spring back into place. Fit in like a charm. And I don't know if you noticed how I tried to put this on last time, but I stuck my thumb up in there and cut myself a little bit. So yeah, don't do that. Just, I don't know, just find a better way to do it. Like that. There we go. Now, finally, let's put the upper back on and pray to God we did it right. There we go. Fits together like a charm. And now you have a single point sling mount attached to your rifle. They sell these with a little ring on both sides. You can get it just on the right side or just on the left side. If you're a right-hand shooter, you'll want it on the left side. Or you can, if you want to spend $30, you can get the really nice mag pull one that has a little, like a tube that goes all the way across, and then you just have a key ring on it that you can attach your sling so it, you know, you can go to either side of it. But it looks really nice too, but I didn't want to spend $30 on it. Whew. But that's it. That's how you attach the single point sling mount. It can be a bit of a hassle. If you have any questions, you know, shoot me a comment. I'll answer them the best I can. And hopefully that video helps somebody. Bye.